Hey, welcome back. We're doing another gameplay stream. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get everything ready for the lecture for tonight, so that'll have to be delayed to another week. Hopefully, I'll have it ready by next week, God willing. Um, there's a decent chance I won't have it ready then, but I'll try my best. I am making progress on it, but stuff has just been getting in the way a lot. So anyway, before we start, I actually kind of wanted to show you guys. I've got like physical versions of this game, Ultima Online, that we'll be playing tonight, and that we played on the last gameplay stream. This is a copy of a jewel case for Ultima Online: The Second Age. Um, this was basically like a sort of expanded version of the original Ultima Online that came out about a year after its original launch. Um, it added a few new things, like it was primarily, I believe, like sort of balances and patches and stuff, along with it added a whole new area to the world called the Lost Lands, which is rather interesting to explore. Aside from that, I also got another one, and this one I actually got at the game store where I work. They had this in the back, essentially. This is a boxed copy of Ultima Online Lord Blackthorn's Revenge. This was a later expansion that they made for the game, and it actually still has a receipt from like CompUSA from whoever bought it, like it from back in 2002, I believe. But yeah, it's really cool. Apparently, they did a collaboration with Todd McFarlane on this one, the comic book artist, and apparently he designed like a bunch of the creatures in it and stuff, and as well as some of the characters. You can kind of tell like it kind of has his trademark women with extremely slim waists, for example, and it even comes with a little action figure of the main villain, Lord Blackthorn. Uh, it's in black and white though. I don't know if maybe you were supposed to paint it or something. But yeah, hold on, let me try to get it good. Yeah, there we go. It comes with all kinds of goodies. So, like, aside from the statue, you've also got Ultima Online a control sheet, a instruction manual. This is like a little comic book that Todd McFarlane made to promote this, I guess, and to kind of explain the story, like. And man, is there anything more late '90s than this? You've got a dial-up MMO with art by Todd McFarlane of all people. But yeah, this was a good find. Again, it was sort of in the back room. I don't think they really knew they really had any idea of how to sell it, because this isn't the sort of thing that usually is in high demand. But yeah, also it came with this map. Hey, how's it going? So yeah, it also came with this map of the world of Britannia that the game takes place in. Not sure if you can see this very well. And over here is the Lost Lands, the new continent that was added in the Second Age again. And I've actually been using this map quite a bit for the game. In fact, you can kind of see that some of the creases are a little. I've been unfolding it a lot. And in back here, you've got the new area that they added for Lord Blackthorn's Revenge, which again, we won't be playing here, but still, I thought this was a really cool sort of addition to my collection, and I kind of just wanted to show it. So yeah, without any further ado, let's switch over to the game. Okay, good. It looks like the footage is getting captured quite nicely. Okay. So yeah, I always start off in this inn because that's usually where I end, because unless you're in an inn, when you log out, it'll take like 2 minutes for your body to disappear, and they do that to prevent you from just being able to log out wherever all willy-nilly. So it could potentially leave you vulnerable, and especially in this game, that's really a bad thing. Like, you really don't want to be caught in something like that, because again, there are things like player killers around that can mess you up. So yeah, I'm going to the bank to pick up a couple things. Okay, open bank box. Yeah, I need my rune books. These like basically help me sort of fast travel around. And again, it kind of shows what I was discussing last time, where there's very much kind of a communal effort in this game, where like, in order to get these rune books, which let me warp to all kinds of areas, first you would need a guy who knows inscription, which, in order to create them, then in order to actually put in all these warp points, you would need to get various rune stones. You need to have a person with the mark spell, which requires a decent amount of skill and magery to actually go to these physical locations and mark each of the runes that you would then put into the book, and then you'd need to get a bunch of scrolls, which you could then use to sort of give charges to this thing. So right now I'm going to go over to a dungeon called Deceit. We're not actually going to go in the dungeon, but instead we're going to be fighting trolls tonight, because they are probably they're a decent way for me to grind in this game. Come on, that's the thing, is that sometimes these spells fail. Luckily, it doesn't expend any resources when they do, but it is just sort of something that happens on occasion, unfortunately. Especially because, again, my character basically has no magery whatsoever. Just going to ignore these skeletons. They're very low level. There's not really much point to fighting them. So the idea is that in this game there's a reputation system where it says here that I'm the famed Michael, Grandmaster Warrior. There's karma, and basically your title here is determined by a combination of karma, which is increased by doing good deeds, and fame, which is done by killing tough monsters. And the problem is that the higher your reputation gets, the higher level of creatures you need to kill in order to keep increasing your fame. So I'm actually trying to sort of max out my reputation, which should give me the title of Glorious Lord, which I can only do, in order to do that, I need to find and kill a lot of tough creatures. And luckily, there is one type of creature that I can deal with. It's kind of a pain, but they are sort of doable. They're called Ogre Lords, and I happen to know of one that likes to spawn in this area. So we're gonna go over and kill it. But yeah, that's kind of the really cool thing about this game, is that it is very much kind of a communal effort. Yeah, hold on. Let's attack this guy. And I'm also going to sort of lure him out so that this way I can. If I get in trouble, I can run away. Because this guy hits really hard. And I might have to run away at some point, and thankfully this guy doesn't have any ranged attacks, so I can just keep wailing on him and run away if things get tough and heal up. But yeah, yeah, as you can see, I'm getting kind of low on health, and unfortunately it doesn't look like my bandages did very much. Again, I've got like a macro set. Oh, crud. Yeah, I need to run away because he's got me down to like 8% health, and one hit at that point would pretty much do me in. There's like a random chance that that bandages won't do anything when you try to use them, and obviously the chance of it helping increases significantly if you raise your healing stat. And right now my healing stat is fairly decently high, but still, you know, and still on occasion, you know, I'll just get unlucky, and a couple times in a row it'll just decide to not work. But yeah, as I was saying, that's kind of something I really like about this game, is that need to run away again, is that it is very much a communal effort, and if you, as long as you got a good community, which in this case, this server really does have a great community, you know, you'll have a good time. You can sort of build on each other's, on the things that each other made, and it's very fun. And also, this game has a lot of freedom to it. In many ways, this game is less like a modern MMO and more like a cross between a sandbox game and an immersive sim. It has a lot of sort of intricate systems that interact with each other, and a lot of interesting ways that allow you to really sort of get immersed into the world. And unlike sort of modern MMOs, you know, well, other MMOs really, it doesn't really like railroad you at all or anything. You kind of just can go wherever and do whatever, and it's kind of up to you to make your own quests. And that isn't to say that I think that it's necessarily better than later MMOs. You know, I actually, you know, there is a good reason why other MMOs are kind of more railroady, and that's because this game can be brutal if you're to a newcomer. You know, I am very slowly whittling this guy down. But at the same time, I do think that this game kind of offers a unique experience that you really don't get from anything else. Heal. As far as other MMOs I've played a bit of RuneScape. I've played a fair amount of World of Warcraft. I got really big into that one for a bit. I got like halfway through the Burning Crusade. This was like sort of a WoW classic, Wrath of the Lich King, and I had meant to go all the way and like into Wrath of the Lich King, but the person I was playing with kind of stopped playing around halfway through the Burning Crusade, and so I also stopped then. It was a shame because I was hoping to, it was kind of my goal at one point to eventually kill Arthas, but unfortunately I never really got around to that. I've also played a few hours of Final Fantasy XIV. For whatever reason, that one didn't really, it didn't really get me sucked into it. Like, I'm sure, you know, I'll probably, at some point I'll probably give it another go, but I kind of just bounced off of it after about like 10 levels, or 10 to 15 levels, I think. I've heard that one has a really good, has a really great, I've heard that one has kind of a really great storyline to it, which I am interested to check out. And this guy is kicking my ass right now. Oh, come on, again? I swear to God. Sometimes you just get, like, with this game, sometimes you can just get super unlucky and just roll in that one like 5 times in a row, essentially. Oh, again, jeez. Basically, the bandages are failing because, again, I'm just getting super unlucky here. But yeah, this game offers, like, an immense amount of freedom. Okay, finally. Well, easy come, easy go. And I really do dig that. I like how it is very much sort of, oh come on. It is very much sort of the players who kind of have to maintain the world and put everything together. It is very much a user-created experience. I'd actually like to play other MMOs too. I'm a relatively newbie to the genre. You know, I'd really like to play some of the more historically significant MMOs, like, there's this obviously, but I'd also like to try out EverQuest at some point. I've heard that they've got some good sort of like time-locked progression servers that are good for newbies. Also, this game very heavily emphasizes kind of the social element to it. There are a lot of really cool again, you really have to team up with other players if you want to really do much of anything. And you have to sort of, build on what each other create. What we each create. Okay, I'm down. I got him down to about half health at this point. I swear this is taking forever. And I'm getting super unlucky with these hits too. Of course, it figures that the night that I decide to stream, like, everything starts going wrong. Like, normally this wouldn't be that big a deal, but oh, come on, again. Jeez. This is some of the worst luck I've had in a while. But yeah, it is very fascinating playing this. I'd also really like to another game I've always wanted to try is Dark Age of Camelot. I've heard that one has some good fan servers. That one is really cool. Apparently it's really well known for its excellent PvP. The whole idea of it is that it takes place shortly after King Arthur's death, where essentially like Scandinavia and Ireland declare war on Camelot. So it's sort of a mixing of various mythologies. On the one hand, you have sort of the Arthurian lore, but you also have with the Irish you have Celtic mythology, and with the Norwegians you have Norse mythology. That really always seemed to be really cool to me. I'd also try the Old Republic MMO sometime. That one seems cool. Again, I've heard it's very good. It's more of a solo experience from what I've heard. But I've heard it has some really good stories to it. Yeah, this guy hits like a truck, I have to say. And I am slowly getting him down. Come on. Come on. Yeah. As far as other historically significant ones, there's Guild Wars. That one's, I've heard, is really cool. Although I've heard that apparently the first Guild Wars isn't fully considered to be an MMO. It's considered to be more of a what's it called? It's considered to be more of like an action RPG that happens to have an online element. Of course, the spider decides to get in the way because heaven forbid things ever go right. And of course, I better kill this guy quick. And of course now I'm poisoned. Because, yeah. Cure me. And I'm poisoned still. Oh, crud, am I gonna die? Oh, no! Ah! Of course. Oh my god. Oh. And I just died twice, like last night too. Like, I hope I don't lose a rank in reputation, because if you don't know, every time you die, you lose like a bunch of your fame, and I might end up just of all the rotten luck tonight, of course. And of course, none of my healing potion, none of my cure poison potions worked, and of course, just and on top of that, my bandages also have a chance of healing poison, which of course they didn't do that tonight. Yeah, this game is harsh. This game is really, really harsh. Like, now I gotta go all the way down to the shrine to resurrect, and then once I'm there, I've gotta go all the way back to my body to get my stuff. As I've mentioned with this game, if you die, you don't get any of your stuff back. You have to go back to your body. You have to make a corpse run to get it. Then on top of that, it's possible for other players to loot your body, and if you don't get back to it in time, wrong way. It's further down. And if you don't get to your body in time, your body degrades and you lose all your stuff. By the way, apparently one thing you can do while you're sort of dead like this, you're basically a ghost, is that you can basically haunt people, and they kind of, I think that they kind of expected people to sort of want to role play as ghosts for whatever reason. I don't know, it just seems a little weird to me. But yeah. I swear, I never die to this guy, but of course, the one time I'm trying to show off, and of course there are 3 trolls here, so this way they can immediately kick my butt the second I revive. Okay, resurrect, yes. Please don't okay, good, I'm still famed, thank God. Oh, come on, no! No. Of course, because I'm out of stamina, which means that I don't have any... I can't sprint. This is... And of course, the only way to... Yes. Please tell me... Okay, good, I'm still famed. Thank God. All these grind sessions have paid off by giving me enough in reserve, thank God. Okay. This time I'm gonna go this way and exit out the back, because this is an island we're on. Basically, I can go around the other way, although there are other like trolls and stuff, but I'm gonna try to just outrun them. And thankfully none of these animals are hostile. That's the thing, is that there are a bunch of these sorts of animals throughout the game that you can kill if you really want to, but and, you know, it will level you up and stuff, but there isn't really, like, they won't attack you unless you attack them, so they'll kind of just stay out of the way. But yeah, this game can be brutal. Thankfully, I've been grinding quite a bit, which means that I have a decent amount of fame to spare. Thankfully. Otherwise, again, I would be really... But again, it's gonna be... Although, thankfully, I'm still getting karma from these kills, but still. Let's see, where's my body? Need to find my body. Come on. Where are you? Okay, yeah, here it is. Thankfully, the enemies there went away. Sometimes they don't do that, in which case you're kind of, if you're trying to get your stuff back, you're gonna be in a lot of pain. Also, they give you this robe every time you die, and it looks hideous, so I always just get rid of it. Let's get these bandages back so that I can heal myself. Let's get my armor back on. Yeah, here I am thinking I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna show you some pro tips on how to win this game, and of course I screw it up and just end up getting my ass kicked. Okay, we should be good. Hopefully hopefully the Troll Lord hasn't healed too much. Okay, hey, remember me? 'Cause I remember you. I'm back. Actually, the fact that you constantly respawn can lead to some funny things, like, I told you that there were player killers in this game. There's this one really funny player. He hasn't been around in a while, but he was really funny when he was on, is that he was called Doom, and his thing was that he would just charge and attack you, but he sucked. Like, he was kind of meant as a joke character. He would just sort of attack you out of nowhere, and you know, he'd always say, like, you know, I'm your doom, you know, welcome to your doom, and stuff like that. And what would happen is that what happened was that this guy would always die, and then he'd immediately run over to wherever the nearest respawn is, and then the second he respawned, he'd come right back at you, and you just, like, again, because he sucked, he'd barely do anything to you. He'd, like, knock off, like, a couple points of health. He'd respawn, come back at you, and just keep going until either you left or he lost track of you or something, you know. That kind of thing is pretty fun. Apparently there's a guy right now in the server, well, I'm not sure if he's right now, but recently in the server, who's been calling himself Powdered Milkman. And his thing is that he's constantly leaving pitchers of milk everywhere, and he's constantly, like, using explosives. But like, of course, half the time he ends up blowing himself up more so than blowing you up. But yeah, that kind of just weird sort of thing is a lot of fun. Can be a lot of fun. And then, of course, he's trying to run away. Thankfully, he's not very fast. But thankfully I only lost fame and not karma, which means that my reputation can still go up, just not in terms of fame, which I am going to have to just grind that out like hell at some point if I'm going to max out my reputation score. But I'm kind of, basically I've found a couple of these guys that I can regularly just kill whenever I feel like it, and I've been kind of just going around and killing them every night, just like 4 or 5 of these guys. Come on, he's almost dead. He's like 99% of the way there. Come on, come on. The thing is that there's actually this server, it has probably only like maybe 40 people overall on it. Okay, so I gained some karma and some reputation. Okay, this thing will sell pretty nicely. Let me see what my guild is up to. Hold on. No, wrong. Okay. I'm part of a guild called Virtuous, and it's largely just sort of adventuring and dungeon crawling and stuff, and it's been great. Like we're sort of a very tight-knit group. We kind of where everyone knows each other and stuff, and no responses. Okay, let's head over to the next location then. Okay, we're going to this other dungeon. There's more of these guys. Okay. Yeah, I guess no one else from my guild is on right now, or else they're all busy with other stuff. And normally I wouldn't bother with this guy, but he does drop a gem that's worth it. Yeah, he usually will drop a couple of gems that are worth decent money, at least relative to how difficult they are to kill. Yeah, really I'm just gonna try to run past all the stuff here. Of course I'm poisoned now. When I get greedy. Okay, cool. I've been cured of poisoned because my bandages can do that sometimes when they feel like it. And of course I'm poisoned again, so hold on. I'm just gonna use up one of my stronger cure potions. But yeah, it's the sort of thing where generally at any given time there's usually only about like maybe 20 people on this server at any given time. Although once the YouTuber whose server this, again I mentioned that this server was set up for a YouTuber to help him make a video. His name is Madular. We're expecting a big influx of players once he does finish his video, hence why which is partially why I'm trying to like grind up stuff right now, because I'm hoping that when the new players get here I'll be able to have plenty to offer. Let's see. Yeah, here's another one of these guys. Hopefully things go a bit better this time. Which they seem to be. But I don't want to jinx it. Yeah, what was I talking about? Let's see. Here. But yeah, I've actually managed to make a number of sort of good friends here while playing this game. Even just kind of standing around and just kind of talking to each other can be really fun in this game. And in fact, I've actually heard a lot of these early MMOs kind of described as glorified chat rooms, which I suppose isn't an entirely inaccurate descriptor. But yeah, it can be quite fun when you've got a nice group of people like I do here. Come on. Okay, yeah, I seem to be at a fairly decent pace with this guy. That's the thing, is that these guys are really meant to be taken on, like, with a team. but I am sort of soloing them. These are kind of almost like boss level enemies, but thankfully I do have enough armor and enough healing to where I can take them on by myself. Which is not something that can be said about most of the other boss level enemies in this game, unfortunately. This game is definitely not one which you can solo through, like, at all. Like, I guess you can do some stuff solo, like I am doing here, but if you really want to make any significant progress, you definitely need to team up. Need to run away and backwards. So, of course, the big news in gaming that's been happening since we last did this sort of gameplay stream is that Sony has announced that they're discontinuing physical media, which I think sucks, especially because they've also basically decided that that you no longer own the things that you buy, which blows. Like, you know, I'm a big proponent for physical media in general, and you know, I like to collect games, and plus, you know, I like the tangibility of having it in my hand. I like you know, perhaps I'm a bit old school like that, but I also like just having the option. You know, I'm not afraid of having digital games. I do have like a fair amount of games like on Steam and stuff. But the fact that you're sort of taking away that option is that really kind of stinks, and I'm very much against it. I really feel that is very much just a horrible infringement on our rights as consumers. Like, you know, I was kind of like, I knew that eventually, like it would sort of pare down, but what I was kind of hoping for was that eventually what would happen is that it would become sort of more niche. You know, it's kind of like you can still buy physical movies and stuff. In fact, I was just at Walmart the other day, and they had like a whole section of DVDs, and a lot of them are like are sort of compilations of older movies and such, and like, as well as a few newer ones. And you know, and I believe that a lot of them were kind of Walmart exclusive bundles. You know, that sort of thing still exists. You kind of have to go out of your way for it. You know, it's not as common or as easily accessible as it used to be, but it still exists, and you still have the option to buy these DVDs if you want to. You know, or rather Blu-rays in this case. Yeah. Plus, I really have to wonder, like, how will, like, I've kind of mentioned in the lectures that in order for gaming as an art form to thrive, there needs to kind of exist a chain of sort of continuity where people are influenced by the games of the past, and without that, you end up basically in the Dark Ages. Like, you know, like, there's a reason why sort of the rediscovery of the works of ancient Greece and Rome led to the Renaissance, is that, you know, suddenly we had things that inspired people that could be built off of. You know, and a similar thing kind of happened with gaming, with the indie boom, where a lot of people kind of were able to draw on sort of older games from, say, the NES era and so on, to create new amazing works. And without the ability to have physical media, where at any time a game company can just erase entire swaths of gaming history, I have to wonder if we're kind of headed towards a sort of dark ages of gaming. You know, and on top of that, like, many of my favorite games that I've ever played are games that I didn't grow up with, that weren't sort of current when I played them. You know, they're like I'm playing this and I'm really enjoying it. And you know, I certainly didn't grow up with this. I guess I would have been old enough. I would have been like probably around 7 years old when this game came out, which I doubt my parents would have been willing to invest in an MMO for me at that age, like if they even knew what that was. But even later, so many of my favorite games were games that I didn't discover until like I was in college or something, and could sort of go back and look at some of these older titles. It really sucks that newer generations are probably not going to be able to do that. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm wearing this guy down. I'm making good progress with him. But yeah, this guy hits like a truck. The problem is that I keep burning through bandages, and I've got plenty for this, but the problem is that you can only buy, like, each town only has like one shop that sells bandages, and you can only buy like 20 at a time before you have to let the shop recharge, which I think takes about an hour. Which means that it can be a bit of a pain to build up a large stock of bandages, which are, again, my primary way of healing in this game. Okay, it says that my anatomy skill is decreased. That's good. That's because I'm trying to sacrifice my anatomy skill to increase some of my other skills, like, I think parrying was probably what went up. Maybe healing, I'm not sure. Those are probably the two biggest that I'm currently using at the moment. Like, yeah. Like, you can go up to a max of about 100, though some items can let you go beyond that. Like, I've got a sword equipped to me now that brings my, it sort of buffs my swordsmanship skill up to 125. Come on. So, yeah, so some of the skills I'm trying to increase, like blacksmithy, healing, mining, parrying, spell resistance, which that's one I really need to increase because it decreases the amount of damage I take from spells, which, given that I'm a tank, is kind of necessary because it also decreases the chances of status effect inflicting spells working on me. Swordsmanship and tactics are maxed out, but I still have plenty. Like, again, you can only you have sort of a limited pool of skill points. So once you max them out, the only way to increase certain skills is by decreasing others. And I've decided to decrease anatomy, arms lore I've already brought down to 0. Item identification, lockpicking, and veterinary. Actually, I think I've already done lockpicking. No, I still have a few points left in that. But yeah, anatomy, what it does is, well, first it gives me a percentage bar. It has a chance of giving me a percentage bar for various enemies, so that this way I can tell what their health is more easily, but I can kind of just look at it, like you can easily just access it anyway. And it also gives you sort of a minor buff to your attack, which will be unfortunate to lose, but hopefully some of my other skills will be able to pick up the slack. Come on. Come on, die. Die, you jerk. Come on. This guy does not know when he's beat. Come on. Come on. When I kill this guy, I'm definitely gonna grab a drink of water because I'm getting thirsty. Okay, there we go. And so you can see some fame and some karma. Let's see. Is this stuff worth selling? Okay, yeah, this one is worth selling, and yeah, so is that. Try to identify this, and of course it doesn't work because my item identification is not very high right now. Okay, let's see if there were any others in the area. This area has kind of a chance to spawn these ogre lords, which are the things I need to kill. Okay, it looks like there's another one here, which is good. It usually, I believe that they can spawn between 1 and 3 of them. And it looks like in this case it spawned 2 of them, because they can either be Arctic ogre lords, or they can be frost trolls. So in this case I got pretty lucky. I got 2 out of 3. Oh, looks like somebody else has joined. Feel free to chime in the chat if you feel like it. Come on. Hit the guy. Come on. Oh, let's try the guild again, see if anyone's there. Oh, wait, hold on. See if anyone's logged in yet. They tend to log in sort of late, and I swear. Oh. He has it going. Ice is the name of the dungeon. You have any plans for tonight? Okay. Okay, cool. So he might be joining me later. But yeah, some of these guys I think like probably like live on okay. So yeah, hopefully he'll join me in a bit, and maybe we'll actually be able to take on a bit of the dungeon together. And also, I mentioned the Lost Lands earlier. Technically, this location that I'm in now is in the Lost Lands. It's in the most northern part of it, I believe. So we're not in Britannia anymore. Gotta run away. Yeah, he would definitely be a big help because there's a spellcaster in here who always gives me trouble. And as I stated before, I'm not very good at dealing with spellcasters at the moment due to my low spell resist stat. Hopefully maybe we can do a decent chunk of this dungeon together if he comes to join me. Of course. Although I might have to zip back to town to get my stuff repaired before he joins me. Because, unfortunately your gear does degrade in this game if you don't get, if it takes a beating and you don't get it repaired. Thankfully, because I do have skill in blacksmithing, I can just easily get it repaired myself, but still. Okay, cool. Man, I've been beating on this guy for a while, and and unfortunately I haven't managed to do a whole lot to him. Yeah, there's just a polar bear right here, standing next to me, who again is one of the animals that just won't attack me unless I attack him. And some nights I like to, I'll spend the night sort of grinding blacksmithing, but tonight I'm not going to do that, mostly because I'm trying to give you guys something at least a little interesting to look at. Like, I don't want to... Like, I know that this probably isn't the most thrilling gameplay in the world, but at least it's not me just mining all night. But, yeah, I suspect with a number of the members of my guild that some of them are probably, like, on the west coast or something, because a lot of them are able to stay up really late, and unfortunately, like some of them I think have stayed up, and, like, I've seen them continue going at like 5 in the morning or something. It's ridiculous. Although one unfortunate thing about the skill system in this game is that it's very sort of top heavy, and that you really don't get any sort of much good stuff out of it until you reach high levels with it. Oh wait, no. I don't want arms lore. Item identification. Let's see if we can identify. We can identify. No, of course, because it's very low. Because I've been using it as a dump stat. Gotta run away. Okay, there we go. This chair is not very comfortable for long streams, unfortunately. Like, it's kind of designed to recline in, and it, when I try to, like, hunch forward with it, it kind of hurts my back a little bit. But yeah, let's see. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? When we finish this, I'll probably head back to town and get my stuff repaired. Come on. Okay. I am very slowly whittling this guy down. But yeah, if you don't know kind of what the story of the broader Ultima games are, of the Ultima series is that, at least in this game in particular, is that it takes place in a world called Britannia, which is ruled over by Lord British, who is basically just the alter ego of the series creator Richard Garriott. And the idea is that, at least in the main series, is that you play as a stranger from Earth who occasionally gets portaled over to adventure in Britannia. And after the fourth game, he becomes what's known as the Avatar. He's sort of like the ultimate champion of morality / also a religious leader, who's kind of he basically almost achieves enlightenment, if you will. And then the rest of the games are kind of the rest of the series are kind of him dealing with various threats to Britannia, many of which involve rather complex moral dilemmas. The series was very much ahead of its time in terms of its writing and stuff like that. This game takes place, it's kind of in an alternate universe that takes place, I believe, right before the events of Ultima 4, so there are the virtue shrines around and stuff. Some of the elements that are recognizable are still around, but okay. Let's see, new guy here. Looks like they're starting to trickle in. The guys from my guild. And so the sort of series heavily, at least from 4 onward, very heavily sort of centers around a system of morality that centers around 3 principles, which are truth, courage, and love, and how they interact with a series of 8 virtues. These virtues being honesty, spirituality, compassion, honor, valor, sacrifice, 2 left. What were the other 2? What were the last 2? Crud. There were 2 others too. For some reason my mind's blanking on them. But yeah, the whole series kind of revolves around this sort of system of morality and kind of people's interactions with it. And sort of as the Avatar, you're kind of the ultimate champion of these moralities, of this morality, of that system of morality. And but the idea is that this takes place in sort of an alternate universe where the Avatar, I guess, just never shows up, and it's kind of and kind of just various other random people, such as me, decide to go on an adventure and do good. And apparently there is a whole other sort of meta other stuff that's going on. There's a whole thing with Lord Blackthorn where apparently he's trying to reunite all the shattered realities that got split apart during the when the Gem of Immortality that was wielded by Mondain the Wizard in Ultima 1 got shattered. Apparently that's causing all kinds of trouble, which I guess eventually leads into Lord Blackthorn's revenge, which in this universe he ends up becoming a cyborg. Lord Blackthorn was a major villain from the series from Ultima 5. He was kind of the main antagonist of that game. But in this one, I guess he goes full heavy metal in this one, and ends up doing some other stuff. Come on, we've almost got this guy down. Just a little bit more. Just a tiny bit. I'm sure that there's also some other stuff too, like especially in the later expansions. Like again, the Second Age, which is what this build of the game that I'm playing is based on, didn't really add much to anything to the story, but I believe that a number of big changes happen in some of the later expansions. Like, for one thing, I know that in one of the later ones, they literally add an entire new landmass that features basically like samurai and stuff. And apparently, that sounds rather interesting, I have to say. At some point in the future, I probably will try out one of the shards that have like all the updates to them, but right now I'm kind of playing one of the older builds. Come on. Come on, you're like 99% of the way there, so go down. Come on. Come on. Sometime this century. Nice. Okay, finally. Jeez, took that guy long enough. Keel over. Let's see, another... Okay, yeah. It's a shame that I can't use... that I didn't put any points into blunt weapons, because these clubs, they're clubs of ogre thrashing, meaning that they do a lot of damage against ogres, which is what this guy is. So if I had bothered to put many points into blunt weapons, that would have been really useful, because then I'd be able to kill those guys more easily, but unfortunately not. I do have there are various weapons that allow you to do stuff like that. Like, I've got a silver weapon in my inventory that's really good against the undead, for example. For some reason I keep getting this this commenter who keeps trying to shill AI viewers to me. I suppose that's how you get ahead nowadays, but honestly, if I have to resort to using AI viewers to get ahead, to sort of build a profile for myself. Hold on. Sell. To sort of build a profile for myself, I'm not sure if it's really worth it. Let's see. Let's see. I thought I saw one of my guild members. Oh. Hey. Let's see. Left. Okay, yeah, he is part of my guild, but I don't remember what he... I think he's the guild tailor, essentially. How's it going? Hello, are you gonna answer me? Okay. Oh, I just got back. Ooh, nice. I have a large bod that I cannot for the life of me get these for. Yeah, because if you don't know, they're called bulk order deeds, where you basically, the way that you can kind of get some high level items for crafting is that you can fill out the special orders from vendors, And unfortunately, yeah. And the thing is that you've got these large bots that give out really good rewards. For me, it's let's see, it's Shadow, Iron, Blunt weapons. Yeah, I keep trying to cycle, but I swear I can go through them for hours and still get nothing. Yeah, because with the large bots, you need to fill them by completing other smaller bots of a specific type. And unfortunately, there are so many different possibilities that you can get that the odds of getting the ones that you need are a pain. Yeah. Yeah, with a lot of ingot types, I can imagine it's really tough. Yeah, it is brutal. Yeah. You have ingot type, whether it's exceptional or not, and if it's 10, 15, or 20. Between all for every type of weapon or armor. I swear there must be at least thousands of possible permutations. Yeah, same thing. Good luck. I'll see you later. Thanks. Okay, cool. So yeah, there's no voice chat in this game because again, this game was designed for dial-up originally, so you have to type everything in manually. And now I'm gonna go sell off most of my weapons as well as repair my armor. You know, sell off the stuff that I got from the ogres and so on. Let's see. Let's repair stuff first. Yeah, I just click repair and then I just repair item. I want to keep this stuff in tip-top shape if I can. Especially because your armor rating, which aids in your defense, decreases if the stuff is damaged. Plus, if it gets too damaged, it can potentially break and you just lose the item. So whenever I get the opportunity to, I always just like to top myself off, if you will. Just kind of go over here and repair everything. And the thing is also is that the more damaged it is, the more difficult it is to repair. So at some point I might just reach a point where some of this equipment I physically can't repair anymore. In which case it just kind of becomes useless to me. Okay, cool. Oh wow, I'm up to 77 armor rating. That's because my parrying increased. That thing can actually somewhat increase my armor rating. So let's sell off the stuff that I got. Oh wow, ogre clubs are worth a decent chunk of change. Yeah, that's everything. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna go buy more bandages and then deposit my money in the bank. There's still 3 people. Okay, that's cool. So yeah. Let's head over to the healer here where I can buy bandages. So again, I just eat through a ton of them whenever I do this. And you know what, honestly, I think I'm gonna do a bit of shopping and also, since I've got a bunch of money anyway, I may as well. And I may as well pick up more bandages, because again, there's only one of these places per town, so I'll just go around to a few other towns and grab some more bandages while I'm off shopping. Yeah, this way you guys get to see the oh, well, that was another one of my guildmates. His name is Quill. We've been doing a bunch of stuff together. He just disappeared. I guess first I'll stop at the guild store, see if any of my other guildmates have anything good for sale. Yeah, what's cool in this game is that you can actually you can not only have player housing, but you also have player vendors who are basically just NPCs that will sell whatever you tell them to other players, which is a good way to kind of be able to sell your stuff. This way you don't. Well, it's a bit simpler, I think, than having to deal with the auction house in WoW, for example. Although you do kind of have to go out of your way a bit. Of course, I just aggroed this troll. May as well just take care of him. He's not so tough. Let's see. Let's look at the vendors. Well, it looks like one of my guildmates just, well, I'm gonna ask him if he needs help. Help? By Destard. Yeah, I can head on over there, probably. Yeah, I'll go help him. Yeah, I can come over in a second. Okay, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to cut this shopping trip short. But this way I can go help out one of my guild mates. Let's see. Of course it fizzled. Come on. Come on. In all likelihood, what probably happened is that he ended up in his body with his body in a bad place. Let's see. Hold on. Because again, he said he was in the middle of a lizard person camp. So what in all likelihood probably happened is that he probably died there. Oh wait, no! Don't want to go there. Okay. Yeah, Destard. Actually, I may as well just meet him at the Casa place so that I can. Okay, here we go. Let me just re-equip my sword and shield because it always gets unequipped every time I do this. Okay. Come on. He's probably. Let's go help him out. Oh shit, I think that's his ship over here. Okay. Is that your ship over here? Oh, yeah, I see you. Yeah, that's him. He just died. I'll help him out. I'll help him get back to his body. Again, he has to go all the way to this healer over here, and he in order to revive. Luckily, we set up a base, like a house, for our guild over here. I'm here to help. Bacon more times than I can count. He really has, like, because he's a spellcaster, so of course he has healed me and prevented me from dying a ton of times. Shall we head over? Okay, he forgot his weapon apparently. Oh, sure. Okay, there we go. And let's give him a second dose just to top him off. Okay. No problem. Let's go. Okay, yeah, we gotta follow him back to where his body is. Because again, it's probably in the middle of a lizard person camp. Which, normally wouldn't be much of an issue, but, being that he is completely defenseless and unarmed at the moment means that, I need to be able to help him out. Otherwise, he'd just die very quickly and very easily. Yeah, this game has some bugs. You can see these glitchy tiles here that are part of the, I guess part of that is because, yeah, now I just gotta kill these guys. Slash accept. kill these guys. Yeah, these guys are really pretty easy, but I guess he just got unlucky or something, and oh, it wasn't in war mode. I guess I was just attacking them out of self-defense. Let's grab the coins here. May as well. Okay, yeah, it looks like a good chunk of the guild showed up. Or, you know, like, another member of the guild showed up to help. Luther's another guy who's helped me out a bunch. I've gone dungeon crawling with him many times. Just trying to target him. Just trying to click on him. Which is difficult when he keeps moving. Yeah, that way I can draw aggro. Okay, there we go. Come on. Land some hits. Either way, I am streaming right now. Okay, finally. Let's just grab this thing and let's see. Yeah, this mace is magical. May as well try to sell it. Just quickly grab that gold and then rush after them. Oh boy, Snake. I hate these guys. Gotta take that guy out quickly. They're small and they're weak, but they can poison you very easily and cause quite a bit of trouble. Yeah, there we go. Grab that gold. Yeah, these lizard men are pretty easy for the most part for a guy at my level, so they're really not much of a challenge. They're just a lot of them. We gotta make sure that Quill here doesn't get killed on his way there. The potion base. Okay, it looks like our guild master decided to chime in. Will get his body back. Oh, that guy's running. Hold on. Don't want to let him escape. Kill this alligator. Scribe like crazy. Gotta take care of some things I've been putting out to scribe like crazy. Scribe is another skill in this game. One that I've never really dabbled with, but again, it can be used for making books and stuff. Okay, cool. And, yeah. Nice. Yeah, it looks like the guildmaster bagged himself a green drake, which is nice. Okay. Yeah, we're attacking the village here. Lizard village. Let's kill. Yeah, when you're a high enough level tamer in this game, taming is a skill. You can basically start like taming things like drakes and even dragons. Like there's this one guy who's really powerful tamer, and he like literally carries around a couple of dragons with him wherever he goes. It's insane. Needless to say, we kind of always want him around whenever we're dungeon crawling, because he is insanely helpful against tough enemies. Like he can, you know, his stuff can tank like nobody's business, and deals out a ton of damage. Yeah, as you can see, like, we've got like 5 of these guys ganging up on me, and yet we're not really taking a whole lot of damage. Yeah, it looks like he got to his body. Ah, shit. I better draw aggro away from him. If I can even... Come on. I just want to... Oh wow, I managed to get a little bit of fame, I guess from the Lizard Man Chieftain. Come on. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just surrounded by these guys, and yet, these guys are relatively low-level mobs. Like, they can be a bit of a threat again, especially in large numbers, especially if they can corner you, although... But against a tank like me, who's got just a ton of... hold on, I need to attack him. Okay, let me just kill these guys. Oh wow, these guys are attacking each other. Yeah, that's something that can occasionally happen. Usually it needs to be like induced with like a spell or something, but I guess that it can just happen naturally too. Unless, I guess it's possible Quill might have done that to them or something, but I didn't see any of that. Come on. Yeah, it's not magical. No point in taking that. Okay, here we go. Let's take out the other guy. Okay, let's see. Any other bodies that have gold? Potion. Got all your stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's another thing, is that enemies can actually loot corpses. It happens only rarely, like, and they'll usually only take one item, but it can be kind of a pain that happens, so probably better off just to kill everyone here and check their corpses to make sure that none of his stuff got lost. It looks like this guy wants a piece of me. He's aggroed toward me. Mentioned something about Scarbray. Let's Ray question mark. Of course, this guy again. That's the thing, is that these guys will keep respawning eventually. Looks like they're gonna post about it in the Discord, about whatever is happening in Scarbray in the Discord. Maybe something fun, who knows. Let me just finish this guy off. Okay, so in total I managed to make about 1,000 gold from these guys, which isn't too bad. Let's see. This, yeah, Greater Cure Potion. So just put that in your, in the keg there. You have a limit to how many items you can carry, so because Greater Cure Potions are something that I need a lot of, because they're kind of the best potion you can get for curing poison, which in this game can suck. You know, it's a good idea to keep a keg like this around. Yeah, my character apparently lugs a keg around of cure potions around with him. But yeah, trust me when I say that this game can make you very paranoid. You know, it's the sort of thing where I never leave the house without at least a dozen cure potions. So the keg is just kind of a more convenient way of doing that. Looks like he's trying to he's training like skinning. Looks like I have no idea where the other guy, Luther, went. Okay, yeah, so he, well, that explains the corpses that we found over there, is that he went over this way. Can't find him. hold on, I see him. Lol. Yeah, we must have gone the opposite ways. Yeah, probably. No problem. Same. It looks like there's there might be a raid happening later tonight. Okay, let me see. From your perspective, this looks like I'm probably okay. So let's see. Making a sweep through East Skara, red territory. Look for rare crates, if any. Archmages are there, but for the most part, okay. Let's see. I'll probably go there in about an hour. 6:30, 7 Pacific, or sooner if people want to jump in right now. Also, probably need to be on the lookout for Edward Karn since he occupies a territory, but as said, with even a handful of us, it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, yeah. I'll say that I'll join. Again, you can't see you can't see this, but I've got like Discord open. I'll join. That'll probably be after we stop the stream, but still, I'll probably keep playing. I'm game. Let's see, do I have a warp to Scarabray? I think I do. Yeah, I do. Good. That way I can get to it. I believe that Scarabray is actually named after like a legendary like lost town or city in like Scotland, I think, or something. If we can kite a few at a time, we should be good. Yeah, the problem is that apparently there are archmages there, and archmages can be a massive pain in this game. They don't take much. It doesn't take much to kill them, but they can deal a ton of damage. They can paralyze you. They can inflict status effects. They can dispel things. Like if you try to summon things send summons at them, they'll dispel them. Just a huge, yeah. Okay, cool. And again, I'm not tremendously good at resisting spells right now, so this is going to be a bit tricky. What I need to do is I need to let, like, other things, like other creatures, tank for me while I basically go in and shove my sword where the sun don't shine. Let's see. Okay, nice. I've got a good chunk of change. Currently, I have something like over 300,000 gold saved up here. Each of these piles is 50k gold. It's taken me weeks to build up this much. This one, it's only about 28 gold, but I'm saving up for like a really nice house in the game. Essentially, like, especially there are what are called towers, which are really awesome, but they cost like 950,000 gold. So I'm a little over, like, I'm about a third of the way there. Currently. But yeah, once I manage to save up for it, it'll be awesome. I can't wait. What time is it? I'm starting to feel like I maybe have to use the restroom. I should probably wrap up this stream, honestly. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. But yeah, I will. Hold on. Okay. To AFK for a bit. Okay, we'll be back soon. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna wrap up the stream for the time being. Because I need to use the restroom and it's starting to get kind of late. I'm probably gonna keep playing after this. But yeah. And of course I need to go to an inn to make sure that I don't accidentally, Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna log out. Okay. And let's switch back to full screen. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. This is again a very historically significant game. We'll probably be doing some more streams like this in the future. But for the time being, yeah, hopefully I'll have the next lecture ready for next week, but we'll see. If not, we'll do more of this. But yeah. Glad you guys were able to join for this. I'll probably upload the VOD for this to the Westwind University YouTube channel if you want to check it out there. But yeah, for the time being, take care.